week's episode of Wrestling Pops, we're going to talk about one of the defining moments of AEW so far. A little bit of the bubbly. Chris Jericho winning the world title at All Out, which led to that little bit of the bubbly moment. Just a little backstory going into this. AEW, upstart company, created by the Young Bucks, Tony Khan, Cody Rhodes, and Kenny Omega. They had their first event, Double or Nothing. Chris Jericho, he defeats Kenny Omega to go on to face Hangman Adam Page for the world title at All Out. And at All Out, he is successful, Jericho is, defeating the young Hangman Adam Page. Now, that is not the highlight, believe it or not, of the evening. Chris Jericho winning the World Championship, the first ever AEW World Champion, was not the highlight. One, because it really wasn't like a secret. Yeah, Jericho was probably going to be the first champion. He is the most recognizable star in America at that time in the company. It only makes sense to put the world title on him. The highlight of the night was the promo that he cut after the match. Super famous at this point, especially in wrestling culture right now. He goes behind the curtain, and usually in wrestling, especially now, they show the behind the scenes. And usually when someone wins the world championship, they give a round of applause. All the wrestlers are backstage getting a round of applause. It's just kind of a thing they do, especially if the wrestler is super well respected. Well, here in AEW, they all stayed in character, and Jericho comes behind the curtain, and no one is there. So in typical Jericho fashion, he's not impressed by the lack of recognition he is getting, which leads to a hilarious couple minutes. First, he starts there and he's talking about the silence. He's pointing out the fact that no one's there to congratulate him. Before the camera pans over to the Young Bucks, who are standing there, they just watched their friend Adam Page, at this time their friend Adam Page, lose the world title match to Chris Jericho. Also, Chris Jericho has been feuding with their other friend Kenny Omega, once again, right now as of this moment, in 2019. Kenny Omega is their friend. But also, Jericho starts pointing out, hey, thank you. Even if you did thank Jericho, even if the Bucks did thank Jericho, he wouldn't accept it. Which is just hilarious that he was fishing for a thank you out of the Bucks. Hey, thank you for coming to AEW. Oh, but you know what? I'm not going to accept that. Walks away, calls them the Bucky Boys, that kind of stuff. Typical Jericho. Before looking at someone, which I think was Brian Pillman Jr., saying, hey, nice hair, idiot, which also idiot, just the way he says idiot is hilarious. On top of that, he continues to just pretty much berate the people. Hey, paramedics, police officers, where were you at when I was bleeding and about to die in the ring? Basically walking around saying, hey, I'm better than you. I'm Chris Jericho. You're never going to get a shot. What's funny about it too is everybody is laughing as he's walking by. He's just walking by. All the wrestlers are there at this point, and they're just staring at Jericho. But some of them can't keep a straight face. Especially the guy who he says, hey, I think he calls him a giant. Hey, you giant idiot, shut your mouth or something like that. Like the guy just turns around and starts laughing. Once again, if someone called you an idiot in public, you probably wouldn't just start laughing randomly. But Jericho does it, and it's hilarious. Continuing on, he keeps walking towards the celebration area. And, after telling the librarian, Peter Avalon, to shove it, and Scorpio Sky that he's never going to get a shot at it, which Scorpio Sky actually did get a shot at it, he goes to the catering table and starts picking apart, hey, a champion, at least he gets to celebrate properly, before holding up a piece of salami and he's just taking a bite of it and criticizing the entire table. Now, also, he points out that there's olives right there, and you can't even get the right olives. So, Jericho, these olives are good. Jericho probably should have got these olives. is delicious. Anyway, Jericho continues to go on about the catering food. Before famously, he sees this bottle of champagne and he goes, "Boy, a little bit of the bubbly." Memes, merchandising, everything has come out of this so far. One of my favorite things that actually came from this promo was a compilation song of Brock Lesnar's theme song, with Jericho just saying "Bubbly," you know, the buh. If you haven't seen that, that's also on YouTube. Go check that out too. Hilarious. This is one of my favorite moments in wrestling, though, because it really kick-started AEW and it gave it its own identity. With a great wrestling show, it was followed by a comical yet entertaining and a progressive story. Jericho obviously is going to be the heel champion, but now he's making enemies. So when Dynamite officially does start, who's Jericho going to feud with? And even to this day, a few years later, actually about a year and a half later, Jericho is still one of the major parts of AEW and Dynamite. Even though he's not the champion, a little bit of the Bubbly promo is synonymous with AEW and one of the most important parts of wrestling, this wrestling business's history. It's one of my favorite moments just because it's hilarious. Anything Chris Jericho does is hilarious. Anything from the list to him just telling people to shut up, calling them different names. And now even this, the champagne, the little bit of the bubbly. Thank you guys for watching this episode of Wrestling Pops. I don't know if string cheese was on that catering table, but it definitely should have been. Hope you enjoyed it. Good stuff here. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, go back and watch any past episode of Wrestling Pops. On top of that, watch Hey Dan, What's This? It's always enjoyable to see what is in Danny's collection. On top of that, go back and watch 10 Minutes with Tanner as well. If you've watched all that stuff, first off, thank you. But then, watch all the podcast videos. And if you watched all those, make sure you head over to Spotify and listen to all the other episodes there. On top of that, if you're a real fan, you go to Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and make sure you also follow us on all those places. I'll see you guys soon. Thank you guys for watching.